My best friend of 15 years slept with my dad a week after my mom's funeral and told me, "You should be happy for us." I just said, "Enjoy the house," and walked away. They don't know I already drained the accounts my mom left solely to me, and the bank is about to repossess everything. I'm Emily, 27, female. And I can't believe I'm even typing this out, but I guess when your best friend of 15 years ends up in your dad's bed a week after your mom's funeral, normal stops existing. I haven't really slept in days. The house still smells like lilies and stale coffee from the funeral. There's a dent on the couch where mom used to sit during her favorite show, and I still catch myself listening for her voice when the wind moves through the hallway. But what keeps me up isn't grief anymore, it's disgust. Dad, Mark, 54, male, was the quiet type. A mechanic who worked long hours, always smelled faintly like oil and sawdust. He loved my mom in his own stoic way. Not big on words, but he'd bring her favorite peach yogurt from the store every Friday without fail. 15 years of marriage that looked solid from the outside. Or maybe I was just stupid enough to believe in it. And then there's Jenna, 28, female, my best friend since freshman year of high school. We met in detention because we both mouthed off to the same math teacher. She was always a little chaotic, talked loud, laughed louder, flirted with everyone, but she was loyal, or so I thought. She was the person I called when I had my first heartbreak, the one who drove me home when mom's cancer diagnosis came through and I couldn't see straight from crying. She knew everything about me, about my family, about mom. When mom passed, Jenna was the first person at my door. She hugged me so tight I couldn't breathe and said, "I'll take care of you, Em, always." She stayed for days, helping organize flowers, food, talking to relatives. She even helped Dad with thank you notes. Everyone kept saying how sweet it was, how kind she was to step up like that. I believed it. The funeral was a blur, tears, casseroles, awkward hugs from relatives I hadn't seen in years. But that night, I remember catching Dad and Jenna sitting outside on the porch, too close, her hand on his arm. I told myself it was grief. People do weird things when they're hurting. A week later, I came home early from the store and saw them in the kitchen. Not talking, kissing, his hands on her waist, her fingers in his hair, the same hands that held my mom's hand through chemo, the same girl who braided my hair before prom. I froze. They didn't even notice me at first. When Jenna finally turned and saw me, she looked annoyed, like I'd interrupted something important. She had the nerve to say, "Em, it's not what you think." And then, when I didn't move, she added, "You should be happy for us." Happy for them. I just laughed, not because it was funny, but because my brain couldn't find another reaction. Then I grabbed my bag, looked her dead in the eye, and said, "Enjoy the house." They don't know I already drained the accounts mom left, every penny she'd saved for me. They don't know the mortgage payments bounced this week, or that the bank notices sitting unopened on the counter are foreclosure warnings. They think they're building a new life together. They're about to lose everything. I didn't go back to the house for 2 days. I crashed at my cousin Leah's place across town, pretending I just needed space after the funeral. I couldn't bring myself to tell her the truth. Not yet. How do you even start that sentence? My dad sleeping with my best friend sounds like a bad country song, not your actual life. The first night, I stared at the ceiling for hours, playing every conversation in my head. Jenna telling me, "You should be happy for us." My dad, silent, eyes darting like a guilty teenager. All the little things I'd ignored before. The way she'd started calling him Mark instead of Mr. Stevens a few months back. The late-night coffee runs for him. The time she stayed late after helping organize mom's prescriptions. It all made sense now, and it made me sick. By day 3, my phone was full of missed calls, 21 from Dad, 14 from Jenna. Her texts started out syrupy. "Please talk to me, Em. You don't understand. It just happened." Then turned defensive. "You're being dramatic. We didn't plan this." And by the next morning, straight venom. "If you can't be happy for us, maybe you shouldn't come around anymore." That one nearly made me laugh. The house she meant, mom's house technically, was already on its way out from under them. I'd transferred the funds the week before mom died, after she made me promise I'd protect what she left for me. "Your father can't manage money to save his life," she'd whispered, pale and trembling in that hospital bed. "Don't let him drain what's yours." So I didn't. I followed her instructions to the letter. Every insurance payout, every joint account with her name attached. I pulled it. She wanted me safe, and I honored that. But I also knew Dad had refinanced the mortgage to pay for her medical bills, and without her savings to cushion it, the payments were impossible. The house was living on borrowed time. When I finally showed up again, it was almost midnight. I half expected them to be gone, but no. Jenna's car was in the driveway, parked crooked like always. Lights on inside. Through the window, I saw her and Dad dancing in the living room, wine glasses in hand, laughing like the world hadn't just collapsed a week ago. There was even a candle burning on the coffee table, one of Mom's favorites. Something inside me cracked. I stood there in the dark, watching them sway to some stupid old song, and I swear for a second I could feel my mom's presence in that house, like she was standing right beside me, watching too. And she was furious. I didn't knock. I didn't say a word. I just walked up to the porch, opened the door, and stepped inside. They froze. Jenna's smile vanished instantly, and Dad dropped his glass and it shattered on the floor between us. For a second, none of us moved. Then Jenna whispered, "Emily, you scared me." "Good. You shouldn't be here," Dad said quietly. His voice had that same soft authority he used when I was a kid, like he thought he could still tell me what to do. I met his eyes. "Neither should she." Jenna's lip trembled. I love him," she said, her voice shaking like she thought that word could still fix things. "Your mom's gone, and he's grieving, and I stepped closer. "Don't you dare use my mom as an excuse for what you're doing." Her face twisted. Guilt, then anger, then something worse. "You're just jealous," she hissed. "You can't stand that your dad's moving on and that someone actually wants him. You should be happy he's not alone." And that's when Dad finally spoke again. Not to defend me, but her. "Emily, she's right. We didn't plan this, but your mother wouldn't want me to be miserable forever." That line hit like a slap, because he said it while standing in the same spot Mom used to sit during chemo, in the same house she fought to keep. I stared at both of them, their flushed faces, their wine-stained laughter fading into shame, and I realized they'd already destroyed everything worth saving. So I just nodded. "You're right," I said softly. "Mom wouldn't want you miserable." Then I turned to Jenna. But she also wouldn't want her house filled with filth. And before either of them could respond, I walked out again. The next morning, the first foreclosure notice arrived in the mailbox. Update. "Hey everyone! I didn't expect this post to blow up the way it did. I thought maybe a handful of people would read it and tell me to go to therapy or move on. Instead, I woke up to thousands of comments, messages, and DMs. And honestly, reading them felt like breathing air after weeks underwater. Some of you were furious for me. Others said I should have torched the house. Tempting, not gonna lie. And a few of you called me calmly unhinged, which might be the best compliment I've ever gotten. But a lot of you asked the same thing. Does your dad or Jenna know what's coming? Short answer, not yet. Long answer, they're starting to. It's been about a week since I walked out that night. I've been staying at Leah's still, sleeping on her pull-out couch surrounded by pizza boxes and emotional support wine. I haven't spoken to either of them, but I didn't have to, because small-town gossip travels faster than oxygen in a fire. Apparently, Dad's been telling everyone I'm acting out from grief. He's painting himself as this heartbroken widower who found comfort with someone who understood his pain. Meanwhile, Jenna's been posting photos on Facebook, her and Dad having dinner, holding hands, smiling like the world didn't just bury my mother 3 weeks ago. The captions? Love finds us when we least expect it. I nearly threw my phone at the wall. But the comments under her posts are what got me. People aren't stupid. My Aunt Linda literally commented, "Isn't that Emily's dad?" And Jenna replied, "We've all been through a lot. Please be kind." Translation, "Don't call me out. I'm fragile and in love." They have no idea what's coming. Yesterday, I stopped by the house while they were both at work. I wanted to pick up some of Mom's things before the bank did. The place already looked different, like they were trying to erase her. The framed wedding photo was gone from the mantel. Her favorite blanket folded into a box. There were 2 wine glasses in the sink and a new candle on the counter, something floral and cheap that smelled nothing like her. But what really got me was Jenna's stuff, her clothes hanging in my mom's closet, her toothbrush next to his in the bathroom, her laptop on the kitchen table. She'd moved in already. I don't even remember deciding to do it, but I found one of Mom's old Polaroids, the three of us at a lake trip years ago. I set it face up on the kitchen table, right beside Jenna's laptop, and wrote one sentence across the bottom. "You two look so happy." Then I left. That night, Dad called. I didn't answer. He left a voicemail. Voice tight, controlled, but cracking at the edges. "Emily, this is childish. We can't keep living like strangers. I need you to respect my choices." Respect, that word again. Meanwhile, I checked the online property record this morning. The house officially went into pre-foreclosure. Payment overdue. Notices issued. The final countdown's already started, and they still haven't figured it out. They're posting love quotes while the bank quietly packs their future into a file folder. Some of you said revenge isn't healthy. Maybe you're right. But I'll tell you what. Watching them build their little fantasy life on rotten ground, it's the only thing that's made me smile in weeks. And I'm not done yet. Because this morning I found out Jenna told people I was the one who took advantage of Dad's grief. She's telling mutual friends I'm twisted, jealous, and trying to ruin them. So fine. She wants a war? I'll give her one. By the time the next weekend rolled around, I wasn't just angry. I was radioactive. Every message Jenna sent made my blood pressure spike. And every time someone texted, "Hey, did you see your new post?" I felt like I was being dared to burn it all down. I didn't, though. Not yet. Because my mom raised me to believe that truth, when timed right, can ruin someone better than any weapon. Jenna hosted a little get-together that Saturday. I know because she posted about it. A backyard barbecue. Celebrating new beginnings. There it was. A photo of her in Mom's apron, standing beside my dad like she'd earned that place. Half the neighborhood came. The caption said, "Healing is messy but beautiful." I wanted to scream, but instead, I showed up. I walked through that gate like I still belonged, because technically, I did. The second people saw me, conversations froze. Even the grill stopped sizzling, I swear. My dad looked like he'd seen a ghost. Jenna just went pale, spatula still in hand. "Emily?" she stammered. "We didn't invite me?" "Yeah, I noticed." I smiled. Just wanted to see how the healing was going. People were staring. You could feel the unease crawling through the air. Whispers, glances, someone's kid asking too loudly, "Isn't that his daughter?" I looked straight at Jenna. "Nice apron," I said quietly. "Mom's blood probably isn't even out of the laundry yet." That was it. Her face twisted. "God, Emily, will you stop making everything about your mother? She's gone. Your dad deserves happiness, and I make him happy." That snapped something in me. I didn't yell, I didn't have to. I just stepped closer and said, "You make him pathetic." My dad jumped in then, voice raised, trying to take control of the situation like always. "Enough, Emily. You're embarrassing yourself." "No," I said, still looking at Jenna. "I'm embarrassing you." And then I pulled out my phone. I had screenshots. Jenna's messages to me, time-stamped during the funeral week, full of, "You're like family," and "I'll take care of you." I'd printed some too, tucked in a folder. I'd come prepared. I turned to the small crowd of neighbors and family, people who'd brought casseroles and flowers for Mom just 3 weeks earlier. "You all probably heard they got together after the funeral," I said. "But did you know Jenna was comforting my dad in more ways than one while Mom's ashes were still sitting on our kitchen table?" Gasps. Someone dropped a beer bottle. Jenna's eyes went wide. Pure panic now. "Emily, stop!" my dad barked, stepping toward me. "No, Dad," I said, shaking. "You stop. You cheated on Mom emotionally before she was even cold in the ground, and you did it with her." Then I turned back to Jenna. "Hope you enjoy your new home." "Oh, wait," I smiled faintly. "You won't have one for much longer." I didn't wait for their reactions. I left. Walked straight out through the gate, heart pounding so hard I thought I might actually pass out. Behind me, I heard shouting, Jenna's voice breaking, Dad's low and furious, and the neighbors murmuring. By the time I got back to Leah's, my hands were still shaking so badly I could barely unlock the door. She took one look at me and just said, "What did you do?" I sat down and told her everything. About the accounts, the house, the confrontation. She didn't say anything for a long time. Then she let out this slow, horrified laugh. Jesus, Em, that's not revenge. That's poetry. But I didn't feel poetic. I felt hollow. Later that night, my dad called again, 10 times in a row. Then Jenna texted, "You ruined us. Are you proud of yourself?" And that was the first time in weeks that I actually smiled. Because yeah, I kind of was. 2 days after the barbecue, I started getting screenshots from people I barely talk to anymore. Jenna had gone nuclear online. She posted a long, performative Facebook rant titled, "When People Weaponize Grief." It was a masterpiece of victimhood. She claimed I'd been emotionally abusive, that I couldn't handle my father finding love again, and that I was financially exploiting him. Yes, me, the daughter, the one who literally grew up in that house she was now playing house in. It might have been laughable if it didn't sting so bad. Seeing my mom's death turned into Jenna's martyrdom story made me want to throw up. Dad didn't post anything, but he didn't defend me either. That silence said everything. Then came the real chaos. The house, my mom's house, officially hit foreclosure. Notices taped to the door, certified mail piling up. The mortgage company even called my number, since my name was listed on one of Mom's older insurance accounts. When I told the rep to direct everything to Mark Stevens, there was a long pause on the line, then a quiet, "Oh, I see." I went by that afternoon to grab the last of Mom's jewelry box before it disappeared into some auction pile. When I pulled into the driveway, Jenna was on the porch, smoking. Her eyes were red, her hair messy, wearing one of Dad's flannels. "You happy now?" she said the second she saw me. Her voice was ragged. "They're taking the house. He's a wreck. You got what you wanted, didn't you?" I walked past her toward the front door. "Mom wanted me to have what she left, not you." She flicked the cigarette into the yard and followed me. "You're sick, Emily. Do you even hear yourself? You destroyed your own father's life." That made me turn. "No, Jenna," I said, my voice shaking with adrenaline. "I just stopped saving him from himself. Big difference." She stepped closer, too close. "You ruined mine too," she hissed. "You just couldn't stand to see me happy, could you?" I stared at her, really looked at her. Her face was blotchy, mascara streaked, but behind the anger was something else. Panic. The same girl who once cried over failed exams was now losing the stability she'd clawed from my dad's grief. "Jenna," I said softly, "you built your happiness on a grave. What did you think was going to happen?" She slapped me, hard. It wasn't cinematic or slow motion, just a sharp crack that left my face stinging and my ears ringing. For a second, I couldn't even move. Then I heard Dad's voice behind us, shouting my name, storming out from the living room. "What the hell is going on out here?" I didn't look at him. I just straightened up, grabbed the small jewelry box from the entry table and said, "You should probably tell your girlfriend to start packing. The bank wants their keys back in 3 days." Dad's face went white. "What?" "Maybe check the mail, Dad. It's all there." Then I turned and walked off the porch. I heard Jenna start sobbing, full body, ugly crying. My dad didn't comfort her, not right away, at least. He just stood there frozen. That night, I got a single text from him. "You had no right to touch that money." I didn't reply, because it wasn't his money, it was Mom's. And if she were here, she'd have done far worse to the both of them. Update 2. Hey again, didn't think I'd be back so soon, but wow, you guys turned this into something I never expected. The first update blew up even worse than the original post. I've been reading your comments, every holy hell, every get therapy, every girl, you are stone cold. And I mean this genuinely. Thank you. It's weirdly comforting to know strangers on the internet see what I went through clearer than the people who raised me. So yeah, a lot's happened since I got slapped. First off, I'm fine. Physically, anyway. Emotionally? That's messier. The slap itself didn't hurt as much as what came after, because my dad didn't even check on me. He just stood there, watching Jenna scream and cry like she was the one who got hit. I left shaking so bad I could barely start my car. Leah sat me down when I got home, handed me frozen peas for my cheek and said, "That woman better pray foreclosure hits before I do." But here's the thing. The internet works faster than karma sometimes. Someone at that barbecue, one of Dad's co-workers apparently, had recorded the whole confrontation on their phone. I didn't know until 2 nights ago when a mutual friend DM'd me a clip from Facebook Reels. The caption, "When grief gets messy." And there it was, me calling out Jenna, her yelling back, my dad defending her. Thousands of views, comments divided right down the middle between Emily's savage and she needs help. Guess which camp Jenna focused on? She's been spiraling online ever since. Deleted her big grief and healing post, made her Instagram private, then reactivated it just to post cryptic quotes about fake friends and toxic daughters. She also sent me an essay-length text last night that started with, "I forgive you," and ended with, "I hope you rot for what you've done." So, progress, I guess. Meanwhile, the house officially switched to foreclosure status. I checked the property record again. It's public, by the way. And yeah, auction date set for next month. The bank already listed it as pending possession. And here's the part that got me laughing in a way I probably shouldn't have. The listing photos are still up on Zillow. You can actually see Jenna's bright pink throw blanket on the couch and Dad's stupid recliner in the corner. A museum of delusion, priced to sell. I didn't do anything illegal. I didn't hack anything. I just let reality finish what they started. And Reddit, you were right. Revenge doesn't always look like fire or screaming or some dramatic "I told you so." Sometimes it's silence, paperwork, and watching people choke on consequences they never thought would reach them. Oh, and before anyone asks, no, I'm not going back there. I went once more this week just to grab Mom's old photo albums and the quilt she made before she got too weak to sew. I walked through those empty rooms, half-packed boxes, unpaid bills, the smell of stale wine, and I swear, it didn't feel like home anymore. It felt like something hollow pretending to be alive. When I left, I locked the door and slid my copy of The Key under it. Then I drove to the cemetery and sat by Mom's grave for a while. Told her everything, the accounts, the foreclosure, the slap, the whole ugly mess. And I said, "You were right, Mom. He couldn't manage anything without you." The wind picked up, the chimes in the tree above me started ringing, and for a second I swear it felt like she was laughing. I don't know if I'll post again. Maybe this is the end of it, but if Jenna or my dad ever see this, enjoy the house, or, what's left of it. The quiet after revenge hits is strange. You'd think I'd feel triumphant watching everything collapse. Jenna hiding offline, Dad's house stripped bare, neighbors whispering every time they see them at the grocery store. But what I actually felt was tired. Not sad, not guilty, just done. Then the chaos started to ripple outward. Apparently, the foreclosure gossip got picked up by one of those small-town Facebook community groups. You know the kind, people posting lost cats and yard sale ads. Someone snapped a picture of the big red notice of sale sign on the lawn and wrote, "Sad to see the Stevens house go under. Heard the daughter's been having issues since her mom passed." 2 comments later, someone replied, "Wasn't the dad dating her best friend? Messy." 10 comments after that, it was a full-blown public roast. By the next day, Dad's shop, he runs a small auto repair place, was down to half its normal customers. People talk. Mechanics live on reputation, and now everyone in town was whispering about how he moved on too fast and can't be trusted. Leah showed me the thread over takeout and just said, "You didn't even have to lift a finger." But Jenna couldn't handle the whispers. She started showing up places I went. Once at the grocery store, just standing at the end of the aisle, staring. Another time at the coffee shop near Leah's apartment, sat 2 tables away, eyes swollen, hands trembling as she scrolled her phone. When I finally said, "You need to stop following me," she laughed, actually laughed. "I'm not following you, Em. I just want you to look me in the eye when you ruin people." I left my latte on the table and walked out. The next morning, Dad called again. His voice was different this time, hoarse, defeated. "They're taking the house Friday. Jenna's staying with her sister. I don't know what to do." I didn't respond right away. There was a pause where I think he expected comfort. Then I said, "Maybe start by apologizing to Mom." He didn't answer, just exhaled and hung up. Friday came. I drove by one last time, not to gloat but to see it end. The movers were there, boxing up furniture. Dad sat on the porch steps, hands clasped, staring at the ground. Jenna wasn't there. Just him, alone, watching everything he'd built, and everything he'd destroyed, get hauled away by strangers. I parked down the block. Part of me wanted to go up, say something, anything. But then I noticed something taped to the front door, a white envelope with my name in his handwriting. I almost didn't open it. But curiosity's a cruel thing. Inside was a short letter, just 2 lines. Emily, I know I don't deserve forgiveness, but I hope someday you understand that I did love your mother. I just didn't know how to live without her. That was the first thing he'd said that felt real in months. I put the letter back in the envelope and slid it into Mom's old jewelry box when I got home. I don't know if I'll ever forgive him, but I do know this: he finally lost what he treated like it was replaceable. And Jenna? I heard she packed up and left town that weekend. Someone said she posted one last Instagram story. Just a photo of the empty house with the caption, "Sometimes love costs more than we can pay." I didn't screenshot it. I didn't need to. The silence that followed was enough. It's been 3 months since the house sold. 3 months since I last saw my dad sitting on that porch. The new owners painted it gray. The flowers Mom planted along the walkway are gone, ripped out and replaced with clean white gravel. It doesn't even look like the same place, which is probably for the best. It was never home after she left. I moved into a small apartment closer to downtown. It's not much, creaky floors, thin walls, but it's mine. I hung one of Mom's quilts on the wall and her photo on the nightstand. Leah helped me paint the living room, and when the sunlight hits just right in the morning, it feels like breathing again instead of surviving. Dad called once, about a month after the foreclosure finalized. He sounded older, like something in him had rusted. He said he was renting a small unit near the edge of town, that he was trying to get back on his feet. I think that meant trying to look in the mirror again. I met him for coffee last week. First time since everything. He looked smaller somehow, like the weight of what he did finally caught up to him. We sat outside, awkward silence at first. Then he said, "I miss her every day. Your mom. I don't know what came over me." I didn't say much, just watched him stir his coffee, hands shaking slightly. I realized then that I didn't need to punish him anymore. Life had already done that for me. When he finally looked up and whispered, "I'm sorry," it didn't erase anything, but it landed somewhere I didn't expect. Not forgiveness, exactly. Just release. As for Jenna, I heard she moved 2 states over. Someone said she's living with her sister working at a diner. No posts, no quotes about healing or growth, just gone. Sometimes I wonder if she looks back at the mess she made and realizes she was never in love. She was just trying to fill a void that didn't belong to her. The irony is, I don't hate either of them anymore. Hate takes energy, and I'm finally learning to spend mine on things that give something back. The last of Mom's savings is in a trust now, part for school, part for a business I've been planning. A small floral design studio named Lydia's Garden, after her. It feels right. Every time I run my hands through the petals or smell fresh lilacs, it feels like she's somewhere nearby, humming along to the radio like she used to when she worked in the garden. Last weekend, I drove by the old house one more time. Parked across the street, windows down, music low. A new family was in the yard. 2 little kids running through sprinklers, laughing. It didn't hurt like I thought it would. It actually made me smile. Because that house doesn't belong to my grief anymore. It belongs to people who don't know the ghosts inside it. And maybe that's how healing works. You let go, and life quietly replaces what was broken with something you can live with. When I got home, I poured a glass of wine, sat on my balcony, and finally deleted every text, every photo, every voicemail. Then I whispered what I should have said months ago. "Rest easy, Mom. It's over." And for the first time in a long time, it actually felt true.